We've created our master model. We now have our first component, i.e. our fretboard. So let's create an assembly, and then we're going to start dropping those parts right within our assembly. Now to do that, we could just go over here in the Begin Assembly dialog. We could click on Browse, and then go to, say, our master model. We do want to bring that in. Click Open. And then here's a really, really important point. I want you to listen to this real carefully. Do not click in the viewport. Okay? One of the really important things about working with master model assemblies is that everything needs to line up in exactly the right place. So don't click in the viewport. Instead, just come right up here and click on the green checkbox. All right? You notice that by doing that, my model snaps right to the center of the world. So everything we put in here is going to land right on that origin, so it all lines up perfectly. Okay, so I have my master model in here. Let's look at how I might add some more of that stuff. I'm going to hide that component. And then come up here, you could say Insert Components, and that's going to open the same exact dialog. And you could choose another component to insert, like say this body back component. Click Open, and then click OK, and it's going to jump to the exact right place again. And it looks exactly like the master model because we haven't modeled it yet. We've just got the master model inserted into it, waiting to be used. So we can hide that. But we want to add a bunch more of these, and this is frankly getting a little bit tedious. So let's see if we can do this a little bit quicker. I'm going to go up here to my little eyeglasses icon and show the origin point for our world. And in fact, let's hide the planes. So we're just looking at the origin for a second. And it so happens that I have all of these components open in a window in Windows Explorer. So I'm just going to select the rest of the components I want to bring in. And this I could have done from the beginning. I just wanted to show you the Insert Components method with these other two. But I could just take all of these and drag them in. And when I drag them, I'm going to be very careful to drop them right on the origin. Okay, if I were to drop them out here, they might not be lined up with my model perfectly. So I need to drag them right onto the origin and let go. And that's going to make sure that each of them is coincident with that origin point. And so everything lines up exactly where it ought to be. Fantastic. So let's just hide everything except for that fretboard. Now we just have the fretboard where it belongs. Let's like to turn off the... Now we just are left with the fretboard exactly where it belongs, and we've got all this other stuff to work with. So let's start by building the front of the body. So let's just right-click this and say Show Components so we can see it. And we're just looking basically at our master model again. Now before, with the fretboard, we actually opened up the part document and worked with it all by itself. But this is really cool. Now that we're in an assembly, we can actually edit this guy in context and see it next to the fretboard as we're working, which is kind of cool. So let's right-click on this, and we could say Open Part, and that would open it in a new window, and then we could just model right here in a new window, just like we did when we were doing the fretboard. But we can also right-click it and click on this little guy, Edit Part, with the little blue cube. You click on that, click Save and Continue. We're going to have to save our assembly because we haven't saved it yet. So let's just save this as our assembly. That's fine. And now you'll see that this part has turned blue. Notice that the name of it is blue, and up here in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, similar to the Exit Sketch button, there is an Exit in Context Model button, whatever you want to call it. And down here at the bottom it says Editing Part, right? That's the definitive way of knowing that you're currently editing a certain part. So now we can actually just start working with this. So to model the front of this guy, let's just hop into a new sketch. Now to do that, let's expand our part here in the tree. We can grab the front plane of that part. Rather than sketching on the front plane of the assembly, that would be bad. We want to sketch on the front plane of the part, okay? Click on that, and then I'll take this sketch from the master model, and we're going to convert entities to bring that right in. I'm going to take the line tool and draw a line from top to bottom in this sketch, and also grab the sound hole itself, and then do a convert entities on that as well. All right. And then we can hit S. I'm going to go down to my Trim Entities tool and just trim off the bits of this that I don't want. And go over to Features, and then Extrude Boss. And then I want to extrude this downward, so I'm going to flip the direction. And let's say we want to go 3 millimeters. So it's 1/8 of an inch thick. And this is the wrong material, as you can see. So let's go over here and choose a different material. I'm going to choose, oh, who knows? I believe spruce would be the traditional choice here for the soundboard. So let's just grab an unfinished spruce and drop that on. We'll make that the part color. And we have a bunch of other stuff in here. Obviously, these are the surfaces from our master model, and we don't want those in here. So let's actually, just to make things easier to see, I'm going to open the part, and then we'll run our direct editing, delete body, and let's just go to our surfaces here, and we're going to delete all of those surfaces because we don't need them. So we're just left with the soundboard that we've created, and also we can go into our sketches here and hide all of the showing sketches as well because we don't need to see those. Close this back up, hit save, and it says models have been changed, and there we go. So now we have the soundboard in place along with our fretboard. We are still editing the soundboard part. As you can see, it's still blue, so we can go to our features. We could run a mirror operation. Let's run our mirror tool here. And for the mirror plane, I'm going to use the right plane inside of the part, not the right plane of the assembly, right plane of the part. And then under bodies to mirror, we'll choose this body, merge solids, click OK, and we have a full soundboard in place. So you can see this is starting to come together already. And when I'm done editing this part, I can just click on this little exit edit part button, and we're left with our two parts all finished in our assembly, ready to move on.